Alright, let's do something different. Let's go out of the horror genre for the second time on this channel, because very early on I did a video on Requiem for a Dream, which is in probably my top 10 films of all time. This movie, top 5 films, like, of all time. Like, I have a lot of nostalgia with this movie. Last of the Mohicans, MichaelMann, 1992. This is going to be a fucking long video, just letting you, this is a long movie. This is like a 2-hour movie. So many memories with this movie. And I always realize when I say, like, when I know a video is going to be long, like they're ever short with me, but I always say it anyway when I know that they're going to be a long video. Like, always forgetting that you see the length by, like, if you clicked on the video. So, like, you see like an hour and a half, like, I'm not listening to this maniac fucking talk about this movie for an hour and a half. Get the fuck out of here. And you wouldn't be here watching it anyway. So always forget about that. But this is a film that has a lot of meaning to me. Like, my dad, this is like me and my dad's film. Like, my dad was like my best friend in life. Yeah, the internet hates him, or my camera, one or the other. But he showed me this movie when, I don't know, I was 6 years old, maybe 5, 6, and we've seen this movie together like so many times, it's not even funny. So I'll always have a lot of fond memories of this movie, just with me and my dad, like, hanging out and watching movies growing up since a little kid. Like, but this is a perfect movie in every single way. Like, DanielDayLewis is fucking phenomenal in, like, in everything that he's ever done. Like, the guy is one of the greatest method actors of all time. What can you say about him? And he is phenomenal in this. Like, he was living in the fucking woods for like months leading up to, you know, to get into character as Hawkeye in this movie. Like, that's insane. But that's just fucking dedication, man. And just the directing, the everything to do with making a film, blanketed, perfect. This movie has one of the greatest endings in a movie ever. Like, 100%. If I had to make a top 10 list, best endings in a movie, this is, again, like, in the top 5. Like, absolutely. The whole time from having the little meeting with the chief of the Huron to when the music kicks in, which is another fucking thing. The music in this movie, again, one of the greatest scores in a film. Like, absolutely brilliant. And I mean, this whole story is what, from the 1700s, I think it was written, right? Something like that. But Cooper, right? James Fenimore Cooper. And this has been adapted like many times, like, including some movie from like the early 1900s, like 1920s, 1930s. But this is it. Like, this is the fucking way to see this story and experience it, because this is just storytelling at its finest throughout this whole movie. And I mean, Wes Studi is fucking phenomenal. Like, absolutely brilliant as Magua in this movie. I always think of Gremlins whenever I think of this guy's name. But God, he's so good in this. So, I don't know, just so much nostalgia for this movie. So many memories of my father, which I miss. No, I'm kidding, he's alive, but I haven't talked to him in a bit. But a lot of memories. So just that alone. But everything else in this film is just perfect in every single way. So this is another one of those handful of movies, and I think that, yeah, definitely the first non-horror movie I've talked about on the channel. So, yay, Last of the Mohicans. just right from the beginning when the score kicks in, and just the shots in this movie, the cinematography is absolutely brilliant, like brilliant throughout this entire film. It's a fucking wonder. Like every time watching this movie, like especially like at the end and when the cliff side and stuff. I'll talk about that like a shit ton at the end, so don't you worry. So good. So it's 1757, and Hawkeye is the adopted son of Chingachgook. I guess that's his name, right? Like, that's how you pronounce it, because they say it many times. I've seen this movie so many times. You have no idea how many times I've seen this movie. Like, an insane amount. Like, I don't even want to guess. Like, because I'd be wrong. It would be much more than that. Like, that's how much I've seen this movie, and how big a part of my life this movie is. And fucking Madeleine Stowe, like, is absolutely beautiful in this movie. I mean, she was always beautiful back then, but God, she's gorgeous in this movie. Like, so good. And so is the sister, Alice. What's the actress? Jodhi May? Something like that. Probably wrong, but who's ever seen her again? I haven't. But then again, I watch mostly horror. Like, I was just thinking if I had to do like a top 25 films of all time, probably 75% of it would be horror movies. And then movies like outside of the horror genre for the other quarter. A lot of those like ones outside the horror genre would be near the top. Like, for sure. Except for like the top three, because that's pretty much already spoken for. So, but this whole opening scene, like with Hawkeye hunting and stuff with the deer, probably what he's been doing, DanielDayLewis, for months before they even started shooting. So this is just a regular old day for him. And Chingachgook's actual son, Uncas, and there's no more pure Mohicans that you can marry. So Chingachgook is the titular last of the Mohicans. Such a great character too. Like, every character in this movie is just fantastic in every single way. So memorable, so great in every way. So obviously this takes place during the French and Indian War, which for some reason you stupid Brits and French people out there were fighting over some bullshit in America that nothing here is worth fighting over. Trust me, it is so fucking terrible here, you idiots. But you were fighting over it, and you guys brought the Indians into it. So this is basically like your little show that we had fun watching. So I don't know what to say about that. That's on you guys. But thank you for inspiring like one of the greatest films of all time. Love the line from Hawkeye when the guy's giving a speech about joining them in fighting France, and he says like, "You do what you want with your own scalp. Do not be telling us what we ought to do with ours." What a great line! Like, that whole scene, like every scene in this whole movie is just fantastic. And what a beautiful shot when the horse and carriages and stuff are going over the bridge that's going over the little stream or whatever it is, body of water, and the reflection of it. Like, what a gorgeous shot. Like, that is such a great fucking shot. Like, one of my favorite in this movie. Like, beautiful. And as a New Yorker, like my entire life, and knowing upstate New York well too, like all these locations, like Fort William Henry and Albany and stuff, like I know all these places well. So it's on another personal level there. Like, that just resonates with me completely. The whole conversation between Cora and Duncan, excellent. Like, such a great scene. And he's such a great character. Like, Duncan Hayward, come on. Like, what's not to love about him? Imagine living like this back in this time. Like, myself included. Everyone has anxiety, depression and some mental problem and stuff like that. If you were living like this is how we were supposed to be living. Like, if you had fucking Indians and shit on your ass all day long, and you had to go, the women had to go picking, for vegetables and fruit in the fields, while you're out trying to shoot fucking deer and stuff all day long, every day. Trust me, you ain't having anxiety about shit. Like, you're sleeping fine at night. Like, when you get to. You're passing out, you're having the greatest REM sleep of your life that no sleeping pill or, like, any type of supplement has ever helped anybody sleep in modern times. Like, everything about the way that they had to live back then, absolutely insane. Like, I couldn't do it. Like, are you serious? Like, at all. Like, not one bit. Could you? Could you live like this? I really think it's the best way, though. Because look where the fuck we are now. So, I don't know. I think I'd like to try being Indian. Is what I guess I'm trying to I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I'd like to try being Native American. And just being an Indian and just, you get to fuck with tomahawks. Like, come on, man. Like, who doesn't love tomahawks? Like, what a cool weapon. Like, guys out there, who didn't have a fake or real tomahawk? Like, when you were a kid, everybody had one. Like, everyone did. Awesome. Like, I'm gonna be an idiot. That's so stupid. The whole ambush scene with the Indians and Magua. Magua. Who the fuck cares? It's one of those. He's so great though in this movie. Like, come on, he's like one of the best villains in a film. Like, anything that I say is great in this movie is in the top 5 in film for me. Like, it really is. Like, everything about this movie. God, this is so good. But that whole ambush is amazing. Getting to see Mogwai, like, walk, like, past, like, the whole bunch of them walking in a line, and then he has his tomahawk. See? Fucking tomahawk. And it looks badass, too. He takes it, and then he just attacks, and then all the Indians come out, and they start attacking all the British. Like, so good. And they're, like, scalping people and shit. Like, it looks awesome. Like, such great scenes like this. The action scenes in this movie are so well done. They're so well choreographed. All of it is just so brilliantly done. Like, damn, MichaelMann. Like, just for this movie. Like, amazing. And then when Hawkeye sees Mogwai looking at, about to shoot, Cora, and then Hawkeye flips his rifle over and aims it at Mogwai, and then he aims his gun at him, and he shoots, and he ducks. That whole sequence, that's fucking amazing. So good. That looks awesome. Oh, but how heartbreaking is that scene when they get back to their village, and it's all burnt down, and everybody's killed? Dude, like, I'd be out for vengeance. Like, absolutely, too. That's heartbreaking. Coming back and your whole family, like everyone that you care about, dead. Fuck that. Like, time to go kill some people. Hawkeye and Cora's entire scene at night when they're staring up at the stars and he's telling the whole story about the monument, Cameron's monument, and they're looking stargazing and stuff. Amazing acting. Like, come on. Like, that is so good. I love their whole little romance and love in this their whole love story in this. It's so good. Like, everything in this movie. And then, just so I don't go on forever about it, the whole scene, it's so many scenes. The whole time in the movie, from when they get to Fort William Henry and talk with Colonel Monroe, all of that, through the whole battle of Fort William Henry, that whole fucking part of the movie looks amazing. It's so well directed. It's so well edited. It looks amazing. Like, you feel like you're there in the war. Like, it's so effective. It looks so great every time I watch this movie. Oh, it's so fantastic. Again, every facial movement, every expression, every word out of Wes Stoody's mouth in this whole movie, is Magua, is just perfection. Like, one of the best performances in a movie. I'll go that fucking far. One of the best performances in a film. So good. Everything that comes out of his mouth. I love how he refers to Monroe as the gray hair. Like, I love how he says that, like, the Monroe's daughters were under Magua's knife. Like, they'll be under it again. All of that to the French leader, so awesome. Like, he's such an intimidating Indian. Like, dude, seriously? Like, awesome. Duncan's whole line to Hawkeye during the big argument of, I will have you beaten from this fort. Amazing. Again, the fucking main theme. It's fantastic. Every time. Like, oh, it's such an effective piece of work. Like, absolutely amazing music. Duncan and Cora's whole argument. Excellent. Like, some of the best acting in film is in this movie for me. Like, from almost everyone. Like, all the main cast. This amazing cast that we have in this movie. I think all of them have scenes that just is some of the most brilliant acting in a movie. Like, oh, this is so good. The whole meeting... Sorry, Frank called. The whole meeting of the French and Monroe and the British. That whole scene, too. Like, that's what's going to be most of this. Is just praising every single scene in this movie. Just the acting and just the directing and the score and just the characters. So fantastic. The action sequences, like, everything. This movie is a work of art in my eyes. Like, it really is. And then the whole ambush on the British by Magua's tribe. Just another just brilliant battle sequence. And then Magua's line when he kills Monroe. His gray hair. Know that before you die, like, I will put under the knife your children, so I will wipe your seed from the earth forever. Oh, what a great fucking line of dialogue. Like, that is brilliant. Now then he cuts his heart out and he raises it into the air. Brutal, man. Like, oh, his Wes Studi, the acting, it's so fucking good. And then just amazing scenic shots. Like, for the whole canoe scene, when they're getting at it, when they escape, and they're going down the river in the canoe, and then they're being chased and stuff, and they get away, and then the whole waterfall scene, under the waterfall, and all the scenes between Cora and Hawkeye, and their whole fucking love. Like, dude, this movie is just fantastic. Like, fuck you if you don't like this movie. Like, I can say that straight up. Like, it's a great gauge if we would ever get along in a social setting at all. Like, if you like this movie, we'll get along. If you don't like this movie, chances are we're not getting along. Like, this is a masterpiece. You stay alive. You do whatever you have to do to survive. Like, all of that shit. Like, DanielDayLewis just kills it. Absolutely kills it. And then they get caught. Like, well, some of them do. The girls do. Yeah, and the Hawkeye, Uncas, and all the guys, they jump off the thing into the waterfall. God damn, my friend called on Facebook Messenger again for the second time. But the whole scene with the no matter where you go, that whole song, I forgot who does that. It's like Canad or like something with a C. I remember that. What an awesome scene too. Like, such a great song. And like when they're like going through the snow and like trying to track them, and then we just get to like the last 20 minutes, which this is short. I was kind of just trying to make it short, even though I said it's going to be long, purposely to see if that would work out. So it worked out. So I might stick with that plan from now on. But once they get to the whole Euron chief, and then they have their whole little conversation, Mogwai and him, and then he makes a decision, and Duncan spares his life because Hawkeye saying like, tell him, to trade me and stuff, and instead Duncan's saying like to trade him because he still loves Cora and doesn't want her to die. All of that, from there to the end of this movie, is absolutely phenomenal in every single way. With the score, with the cinematography, with the fucking shots of the mountainsides, the cliffs and stuff like that. The battle sequences, like Uncas' whole fight with Mogwai and how he dies. Then Alice, like, and it's such a tense scene, man. When, like, she's just, like, staring at him and she wants nothing to do with him. And then she just would rather be dead. Like, absolutely rather be dead. And jumps off the cliff to be with Uncas. Like, and he just, like, alright, it just keeps on walking. And then the whole scene after that, just absolute brilliance. Like, you see it right in Chingachgook's face. He is pissed. Like, you killed his son. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you are dead. Like, and the way Russell Means portrays that on his face is absolute perfection. Like, perfection. Like, it's so fucking good. All of that with the soundtrack going, this is the greatest movie, man. Alright, remember how at the beginning of this, how I was saying I've seen this movie so many times it's not even funny? I'll put it this way. Not only do I know almost every line in this movie, I even know the Indian lines. Like, that's how many times I've seen this movie. Like, when the chief and Mogwai going back and forth and Duncan is translating to Hawkeye, all the responses of him translating, I know those too. Like, it's fucking weird, man. So I guess watch a movie over and over and over again throughout, like, your, like I said, 5, 6 years old I saw this. So, like, almost 30 years of your life. And you'll learn the language. Like, seems like a long, heavy investment, but just to learn you don't know the language, you just know the lines of the movie. You know what I'm talking about. And then the fucking music, man, just kicks in, the Gale theme. And just, Hawkeye's like, I said to take me. And Duncan's like, you just take her and get out of here. And then she's screaming for Alice. And then Uncas, when he puts his hand on Chingachgook's, on his father's shoulder, and they exchange, like, he looks down at him and he looks up a little bit, but, like, they don't make eye contact. But, like, he's basically telling his father, like, I love you. This is my last time that I'm going to see you. Because he knows he's going to die. Like, he knows he's going to die. Like, trying to get Alice away from Mogwai and, like, his whole tribe. Awesome. Like, he portrays that so well, just with a gesture and a simple look down. Awesome. And then when Duncan's getting hung and burned, and he's getting burned alive and shit, just the way Hawkeye, to put him out of his misery, how he shoots with the rifle and kills him, so he doesn't have to suffer any longer. So awesome. And these two did not like each other, like, early on in the movie, like, at all. Like, and just the way that they came to respect each other is another great thing in this whole movie. Like, their whole dynamic between Duncan and Hawkeye is amazing. And the way of Uncas just climbing up the hillside, up into the mountains and stuff. And then when the music peaks with the dun, and it's showing the whole mountainside, that whole shot is absolute beauty. Like, that is such a gorgeous panning shot. And then that's when the music, and the main theme kicks in. Oh, it's so fucking good. Oh, it's great. Oh. Just Uncas's entire fucking build up to getting to Magua when he first like ambushes the whole tribe. We're getting real deep into JT here in this video, because like I said, there's a ton of emotional attachment to this movie and nostalgia, like insane amounts. So, but when I was a kid, used to play with like cowboys and Indians and shit like that. I used to reenact the ending of this movie. I can't believe I remember this. With cowboys and Indian figures. Like, it's gotta be maybe like a year after seeing it for the first time, a year or two. But I used to do that. Like, I know every fucking tomahawk swing, every fucking sound effect at the end of this movie, like everything about this ending is just pure cinematic brilliance for me in every single way. Like, I will gush all over The Last of Mohicans. The Last of the Mohicans. It is so amazing. And then just Uncas' scene when he gets fucking taken over by Magua, and he just stabs him in the throat. Then when you see Russell Means, when he comes out and stuff, and he's just screaming, but it's silent. You can't hear a scream. Then the one thing that bothers me about this movie, and it's so stupid, but it's me. So this is me we're talking about. When Hawkeye, after Uncas's body falls off the cliff and like slides down like the mountainside, which looks so awesome, he comes running out of the cave and he trips and his arm hits the boulder, and it's a fake boulder, so it's like rubber or some shit, and it vibrates, like it moves, and it's so distracting. It really is. Every time I see this movie for almost 30 years or around there, like crazy, every time. Like, my dad noticed it when I was first watching this with him the first few times, and we never could not notice it since. Like, every single time. So, it's such a small fucking thing. It doesn't matter. But it's every time I'd be like, fake boulder. Like, every single time. And then the whole, like I said, tense scene with Alice and Magua, and she just doesn't want to fucking go anywhere near this guy. Are you serious? After what she just saw him do to Uncas? Like, there's no way. Then she jumps off the cliff. Then, like I said, just now it's just like, you killed my friggin' son, man. And just this whole build up here, this whole run up here, with Hawkeye shooting motherfuckers left and right, and Chingachgook. This is why, if you ever meet an Indian, like, trust me. If they have a weird handmade weapon, stay the hell away from them. Like, because they're not messing around. They have some skills, and this guy's no exception. Like, this guy has such a cool weapon, Chingachgook, with it's just like spikes all over the place on the blue thing, like, awesome. And just Hawkeye's just killing people left and right, shooting them, and then picking up their rifles and using them and shooting two at a time. And then just the whole ending here with Magua fighting Chingachgook. Like, when he just, like, rolls underneath him, like Dark Souls style, rolls right under his swing, and then he, like, breaks his elbow, and, like, the effect looks great of his elbow, like, bone popped out, like, really good, and then smashes him in his back, and then right over his shoulder, and like his little like awesome, like, that's so cool. And then he just can't do anything. He's just like almost dead. But he's still standing. He's just looking at him. He just like shakes his head. He's like, "You killed my fucking son, motherfucker." And then he just spins around, spin to win, and just stabs this guy right through his body. Unreal. Like, seriously. Like, one of the best endings in a film. Like, I will always defend that statement. Like, to anyone, anywhere, anytime. Like, forever. Like, that's never changing for me. And then Chingachgook's whole final monologue, which is, I know there's two versions. The one that has like the added lines, I'm not as familiar with. Like, I grew up with the one with the original lines, like from the theatrical cut. So those are the ones I remember most. But just the whole monologue itself, and then him just saying, like, "I, Chingachgook, last of the Mohicans," and then the music kicks in, and then DanielDayLewis gets to kiss Madeleine Stowe one more time. That's twice, but whatever. It's Madeleine fucking Stowe. Are you serious? I would get so many hugs and kisses in if I was DanielDayLewis on the set of this movie with Madeleine Stowe. Are you serious? Madeleine Stowe. Like, come on, man. And then just the score to take us out. Man, what an amazing movie. Like, so good. Like, I can't believe I've only talked about it for a half hour. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I really am. Like, usually when I do, like, a perfect movie, it's at least an hour, if not an hour and a half. So, I purposely tried to cut it down, but there we go. We jumped out of horror for a little bit. And I got an idea for another one, like, not anytime soon, but, like, maybe, like, next week or some shit. Like, that seems like forever away. So, sometime then. But that'll be fun. And Video Tasties and me were supposed to finally watch this movie together. So, if you see this G-Man, you know which one I'm talking about. But Last of the Mohicans, absolutely perfect film. With just so much meaning to me. And so much history with me, like, in my life. And memories and all of that. So, phenomenal movie. And don't know what I'll do later. But who knows? I'm happy that I was able to crank out some videos and watch some movies that are awesome. So, wherever you guys are from, hoping you're having a good morning, afternoon, or night. And I will talk to you soon. Take care, guys.